One night at a time. Spooky season. Night 9. I woke up before my night watch shift began to the sound of music coming from my chimney. I would have thought the neighbors were just having a bit of fun, but the music sounded like none I'd ever heard before. It's almost as if it were spectral. I pulled on my crow feather bodysuit and my antler headdress before heading out to investigate. I searched and searched around my cottage, but the source of the music was nowhere to be found. The music was everywhere, but also nowhere. Eventually, I had to quit looking and began my shift on the night watch. I completed the gravestone ceremony. That leaf suit is wretched, and finished up some little tasks that had gotten away from me. About halfway through the night, I had almost grown accustomed to the eerie music in the air. It was quite soothing when you quit trying to find the source. It was around then that the tune changed and my desire to seek out the source was reinvigorated. I scoured the town for this noise. I searched so long that the sun was just starting to peek over the horizon. I started to get discouraged. If I couldn't find the source of the music, did I deserve to have this job at all? How could I possibly keep the town safe? I had searched so hard that my bodysuit had lost more than a few feathers, and, discouraged, I went back home when my shift was over. The music hadn't stopped all night. Even the most talented musician would have needed to take a break at some point. Now, call it a lucky break, but on my way back inside, I saw something move from the side of my cottage to behind. I sprinted to the rear of my home and ran straight into the thing. I toppled over it, knocking it to the ground. The music stopped. Quickly, I got my wits about me and gazed at what I had run into. Why, it resembled a harp. It wasn't made from traditional materials. Instead, it was made from bones and strung with hair. I set it back upright and it began playing that spectral melody once again. From the bushes beside me, I heard a rustling. A skull hopped out of them.
Hey, you can't touch that. That's mine.
He sounded like an overgrown toddler. I responded, "And you, sir, are trespassing." He chuckled.
What are you gonna do? Kill me? In case you haven't noticed, I'm dead. I'm tied to this stupid thing, and it won't ever stop playing.
If a skull could look tired, that would pretty much sum this guy up. I almost told him to leave and how he probably deserved to be tied to the harp, but I thought better of it. I didn't know the guy that well. "And what do you want me to do about it?" I asked. He pleaded that I take the binding off his body and let him take his eternal rest. "Well, how'd you get that way in the first place? That'll help me know where to start."
In life, I was a great entertainer. Some would say one of the best. Wherever I went, I would bring the music with me. The years passed and I fell ill, never letting the music stop. I implored the aid of a witch by the name of Emerson. Emerson had quite the reputation, and a well-earned one, too. They had been the one who provided all sorts of remedies for the town's ailments, and they also specialized in granting last requests. Look, if I had known what I was asking for, I never would have let the words leave my mouth. As you can probably guess, I asked Emerson to never let the music stop. They gazed down with those kind amber eyes and raised an eyebrow at me. "If that's your request, may it be so." That's what they told me. They took a strand of my hair and placed it into a vial they tucked into their bag, then left the room. I was firmly believing I had been scammed when I finally passed. I'll spare you all the gory details. Everything went dark briefly. Well, briefly from my perspective. Who knows how long it truly was. Then the music began. I was elated. Emerson truly had done it. The sounds were mesmerizing, haunting. I'd become so distracted by this music that it took me far too long to realize that where I once had a body, there was nothing. And the golden locks that used to fall into my eyes on the regular were no longer a nuisance. After getting a closer look at the source of the music, I stared at this harp in horror. Were those my bones? Was that my hair? The harp started moving through the woods, dragging me behind it as if we were tethered together. The melody was soothing and kept me from becoming angry from the near constant banging of my head on rocks and trees. After a while, I decided that this was too much and was not what I had asked for. How could I enjoy the music when it's dragging me around everywhere like I'm its damn dog? I tried to lead the harp back to Emerson to get some answers, but the harp pulled me the opposite way each time. We'd been wandering the forest for ages when we finally came across your village. And now we're here talking with you. So, what do you say? Can you help me?
I sat there for a moment, pondering everything he had just told me. I told him it would take me a couple days to gather the appropriate supplies for such a ritual to take place, and he and the harp were welcome to stay with me while I prepare. So, until I can complete the ritual for this poor guy to unbind him from the harp made of him, I guess I'm gonna have some company around the house.